Washington, D.C. Inauguration 93. This is News 8 Midday.
I, William Jefferson Clinton, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully...
Promising a government that cares first about the needs of its people at home, Bill Clinton becomes the youngest president since John F. Kennedy. The inauguration of the 42nd president tops our news. Thanks very much for joining us.
Repeating the oath taken by every president back to Washington, Bill Clinton, about an hour ago, assumed the leadership of the world's most powerful nation. It's an exciting and historic day in the nation's capital. Channel 8's Chip Moody is there. Chip?
Well, good afternoon, Quinn and Renee from the nation's capital. There is no other American tradition that involves as much pomp and ceremony, as much significance and splendor than the inauguration of a new president. Here in Washington today, we have been blessed with clear, blue, cool skies. Precisely at noon, Washington time, Bill Clinton put his left hand on his own personal Bible, raised his right hand, and entered the history books.
Will you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, William Jefferson Clinton, do solemnly swear.
I, William Jefferson Clinton, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
That I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
And will to the best of my ability.
And will to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
President Clinton then summoned the nation to a new generation of leadership. He said it's time for the citizens of this country to face hard truths and take strong steps. And he used the word change 9 times.
Today, a generation raised in the shadows of the Cold War assumes new responsibilities in a world warmed by the sunshine of freedom, but threatened still by ancient hatreds and new plagues. Raised in unrivaled prosperity, we inherit an economy that is still the world's strongest, but is weakened by business failures, stagnant wages, increasing inequality, and deep divisions among our own people. There is nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured by what is right with America. And so today we pledge an end to the era of deadlock and drift, and a new season of American renewal has begun. It is time to break the bad habit of expecting something for nothing. And so I say to all of you here, let us resolve to reform our politics so that power and privilege no longer shout down the voice of the people. Let us put aside personal advantage so that we can feel the pain and see the promise of America. Let us resolve to make our government a place for what Franklin Roosevelt called bold, persistent experimentation, a government for our tomorrows, not our yesterdays. Let us give this capital back to the people to whom it belongs. From this joyful mountaintop of celebration, we hear a call to service in the valley. We have heard the trumpets. We have changed the guard. And now, each in our own way, and with God's help, we must answer the call. Thank you, and God bless you all.
And now to backtrack on the day just a little bit, as has become a tradition for incoming presidents, Bill Clinton began this day by attending a prayer service. And for the first time, the pre-inaugural event was held in a predominantly black church. Clinton, Vice President-elect Al Gore, and their families sat side by side in the historic Metropolitan African Methodist Episcopal Church. Clinton was clearly moved by the interfaith service, swaying to the music and singing along with the soloist. Tears rolled down his cheeks as he listened to the music. Later, he heard a prayer offered for a new era.
As we enter this new era, standing in this assurance, this do and thou shalt live, we may confidently look to some bright tomorrow when the hyphens will drop out of our Americanism, and when truth and justice shall remove the dash between whatever we are and American, and we shall be solely, purely, only, proudly, gloriously American.
Bill Clinton then went over to the White House for a final meeting with his predecessor. The Clinton and Gore families were welcomed to their new home by the Bushes and their dog Millie. President Bush was heard to say good luck to you as he stood on the north portico. The outgoing president even joked about serving as the doorman. The group then went upstairs to the Blue Room for coffee. From the White House, the Clintons and the Bushes rode together up Pennsylvania Avenue to the west steps of the Capitol. The motorcade passed some of the tens of thousands who have gathered here in the nation's capital to witness the transition of power. The inaugural ceremony began with an invocation from the Reverend Billy Graham, who attended his 8th inauguration. Vice President-elect Al Gore took his oath of office first. Then, following a musical interlude by mezzo-soprano Marilyn Horne, William Jefferson Clinton was sworn in as the 42nd President of the United States. Now, of course, we all know it's a busy day here in Washington, and things are also pretty busy at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And that's where my colleague Nan Goplerud is right now. Nan?
Chip, that's right. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in South Dallas. We're at St. Philip's School, and the students here love the idea that they share this prestigious event or address with the White House. And that's made this a very special inauguration day here, too. Fourth graders spent the morning studying the election process, discussing the inauguration, and facts about the new president and the White House. They, in turn, had a chance to practice the democratic process, casting their ballots for class officers. Then downstairs, a second grade class watched the TV as history unfolded in Washington. The second graders did wiggle a little bit, but they were quiet as the passage of power took place. They, too, have studied and paid careful attention to the issues that face the incoming administration. And the students have some advice for the new president, Bill Clinton.
He should have food money and jobs for people that are less unfortunate. I try to set an agreement with Saddam Hussein so that these two countries can be friends. I think Bill Clinton should tear down, like, gun shops, because people get guns, they don't use them right. I want him to try to get out the guns and the shooting out of the United States so that people won't get killed and other people could have clothes and food. Somalia, I think they should stay a little bit longer so they can get a little bit more food.
The students here know quite a bit about the new president himself. They know he's from Arkansas, that he's a Democrat, that he has a daughter, and that he plays the saxophone. As I said, it's been a big day here at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and some students in Fort Worth are also getting into the inaugural spirit. Channel 8's Karen Kelly is with them right now. Karen?
Nan, in Arlington, it's a pretty exciting day for school students here at the Montessori Academy. Most of the 140 students here are focusing their attention on the inauguration as well. And right now, the swearing in of the 42nd president is proving to be a perfect opportunity for a music lesson. If you listen closely, you might hear that these children in 1st through 3rd grade are learning the words and the music to Hail to the Chief. Certainly an appropriate song today. And it is a song that they might be humming, I think, for the rest of the day. Earlier, though, TV monitors were set up in classrooms, and students were allowed to watch the inauguration festivities, the oath of office, and, of course, the new president's address to the nation. It was that speech that became an assignment for 4th, 5th, and 6th graders at this school as they were asked to analyze what the president expects from Americans.
He seems to think that we need to be more united instead of everybody trying to get their own way, or we're going to be the divided states of America.
Do you have any feelings about him as a new president?
I think he'll be a good president.
Today's inauguration certainly is a school lesson for children all over the country, and it is a perfect opportunity, I think, for children to learn a little about what America is all about. I'm Karen Kelly reporting live in Arlington. Now let's go back to Chip Moody live in Washington.
All right, thank you very much, Karen. Of course, it's exciting to be here in person, but through the magic of television, people all around the country can share in the activities today. This day does not get any less busy for the Clinton family following his swearing-in ceremony and the surprisingly short inaugural address. Mr. Clinton has joined members of Congress for lunch at the Capitol, and that's happening right now. That event is closed to reporters, though. Soon it will be off to the White House for the traditional parade beginning at 1 o'clock Texas time. And this evening, it's a night for celebrating with a host of inaugural balls kicking off at 6 o'clock this evening. Well, the pomp and the pageantry, the majesty, the confluence of Americans, and the passing of the torch continues here in Washington, and it will last late into the night this evening. We'll be back a little bit more with what's going on here in Washington.